Welcome back to the Money Mind YouTube channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the last episode. Today, we'll be talking all about property, and I have Alicia, Shen, Jeanette, and myself, Charmaine. So let's get into it.
So anyway, Ali, do you think that BTO nowadays is still affordable?
I think that HDB flats have gotten more expensive over the years. But as compared to private housing, the condos and the landed properties, condos would be a better comparison, it is still a cheaper option. So affordable or not, I don't know, but it's the cheapest option available. Yes, so if we want HDB prices to come down, then the government has to step in more, like really to control the whole market. But I think that is also very difficult to control because Singapore is very small. Land is everybody needs land. There's not enough land to go around. So in terms, especially if you talk about BTO, right? I don't think we get stoned for that, but I don't think HDB has lost their way. I just think that we ourselves as citizens have lost their way because public housing is to just give you a roof over your head. And if we look at the increase over the years, it seems quite fair. For BTO, yes.
For myself, I agree with you that actually it's affordable compared to private housing, things like that. So basically, although that being said, I still think it can be even more affordable. I wouldn't say to be as comparable as our grandmother's time, but I think something nearer to it would be better.
Okay.
More welcome. So why I say that is because in the past, actually I asked my grandmother how much she was paying. So she said she was paying about, she bought the flat for 20k. And I asked her how much is the pay. The pay was 800. And I'm like, when I do the math, it doesn't add up. Because when I bought my house, example, so it's about 300k, I was then earning about 4k. Yeah, so if I would just say that we take 20% of our pay to pay off the house, the monthly, right? She will just need 8-9 years to pay finish. But I will need to take about 25 years. I don't know why it's just nice to 35 years loan. Yeah, maybe it's just heng.
On the plan, you spend your whole life paying for that house.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's a big difference. I take double or maybe 1.5 times the period to pay, which is liability. I mean, we don't want that. That's why, and then the houses increase price faster than how ours increase now. As you can see. And I don't think our prices will keep going up because I think there are curbs from the government coming in. Yeah, right. So I mean, a little bit more affordable will welcome, but I still think it's still relatively affordable. Yeah.
So do you think HDB has lost its way in terms of the affordability?
I don't think it's the HDB that lose their way. I just think that it's more of maybe what we want is different. I mean, in the past years, we start to flip properties. Everybody start to do that. So when you start to do that, then of course the curbs will come in, everything will come in. Yeah. So it's quite natural that everything has to be controlled. Yeah.
It's like playing a game. You try to rig the system. You try to, but then the game master must control the game. So I feel like it's a little bit like that lah. So it's very difficult to be like our parents' time already. Yishun first level, 1 mil.
But then again, I mean, for all of you guys, because all of you got a house, I don't have a house. So to me, this kind of figure scares me, Like, one BTO in prime area could possibly cost about 400 to 500k depending. I mean, Toa Payoh
600,000.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I stay around prime areas as well, so I would definitely choose prime area if let's say there's an option lah. But seeing the amount, how much I have to pay, it really scares me for a 4-room flat or a 5-room flat.
Yeah.
Then recently also there is this article about the 4-room BTO at Keppel Club, the Greater Southern Waterfront, which could possibly cost more than 700k. I mean, it's a nice area lah, but for 700k for a 4-room flat, do you even think it is worth it? I mean, if you top up a little more, you could get an EC, you can get condo. Yeah.
But they always say that HDB BTO is always a springboard. So the prices are heavily subsidized. So even though you're paying 700, typically the trend is you earn about 100 to 200k when you sell your BTO. Yeah, but that could be the factor why prices are always going up. Yeah, because you can start to ask for higher price with a nicer reno, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that still shows that our economy is still strong, even though times in recent times of recession, the market is still going strong, property market is still booming.
True.
Yeah, so I think that's more of how affordable it is, compared to our economy. Yeah. But anyway, you just BTO recently. So how was your experience?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
How was the experience?
Yeah.
Where does it start? The whole application process, or by the time I get my key, when I see the physical flat?
Yeah. Like when was your BTO date? Like when you go?
So my whole process started nearly 10 years ago.
Wow.
I don't know if there's anybody out there who can beat that record, but I first started applying when I was in the final year of school. So I applied, I didn't get until the 10th try.
Wow.
I didn't get my BTO unit until the 10th try, and I didn't give any place up. What I did was because I balloted for mature estate. So I live in the east, my then boyfriend lived in the west, so we wanted to meet somewhere in the middle so that you don't swing that way lah. But anyway, because we applied in mature estate, it took us a very long time. But for I said I took 10 times, right? Towards the end, I actually even tried Bukit Batok. Like that kind of like super far for me as an Eastie kind.
Yeah.
So it was not all central lah, not all central, but it still took me 10 tries. So it took me a very long time. I finally got a number in 2016, and I just got my flat exactly 1 year ago. Exactly 1 year ago.
1 year ago.
Correct.
Do you stay on the 10th floor?
No,
Everything is 10, right?
unfortunately not. Yeah, so it's not unfortunate, just the 9th floor. And even then, when I got the unit, I didn't get a fantastic unit. It was the first number I got. Then I just just take it lah. 10 tries already.
10 tries.
Yeah.
10 tries for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. 10 try for the 10 years includes the building time.
Oh,
so
okay,
10 try
okay.
across 4-5 years.
So when you tried to ballot, it was around maybe 2011, 20.
Yeah, about there. About there.
I remember, I really recall that was a time where there was a crunch. Everyone has the same problem in Singapore. Yeah, so basically, this is a sensitive topic. So what happened was, there was a period of time where nobody could ballot a flat. Yeah, so probably you were one of them. Because my sister was in a position as well.
Yeah.
So she had a difficulty to ballot during that period of time. I think your sister also had
Yeah,
the
my
same
sister tried like 8 times. A bit less than you, but
Right.
Wow.
But it's still crazy, like how long we have to, how long the whole process takes.
Yeah. I would say that we have progressed because recent years, I think most of us are able to get a flat in the first to the third try. I think that's the statistics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually,
so-
it's not true though.
Not true?
I do have friends that failed multiple times, like
Oh,
4-5
yeah.
times, that kind. And I do hear instances whereby people like on the 7-8 try and then they just give up and they just go for resale.
Yeah.
So I don't really think.
That is
maybe
applicable.
they try 3 times then they go
Maybe
resale.
I
They
was-
give up
Yeah,
already.
probably.
Yeah,
Maybe I was lucky.
I have friends who got on their first try also, so I'm
Yeah.
just saying that maybe it's not the system fault, maybe it's just
That-
you. I
The
have
system
really
don't
bad
like your
luck.
face.
Yes, I have really bad luck. So for me, it took a really long time.
Yeah.
I see. I think for us, we have already done our BTO, but for yourself, I think you haven't.
I think BTO is not really a route for me to go. I mean, given like the situation, like my friends who failed so many times, it kind of scared me
Fear.
also. Yes, I do have friends who are so lucky, like they just wanted to try like first time and then
You got it.
they got it. Yeah.
Yes.
But then there are many instances whereby people like failed to get like a slot and things like this. I mean, it's really overrated these days. Yeah, and it's overly subscribed. So I don't think BTO is a route for me given my age also. So I mean, with the pandemic as well, the delays factoring in, it probably when you get your house is about 35. Yeah. So I would think for me, I would probably go like the resale route or like EC if possible. Yeah.
So EC will be more viable for you? Let's say?
It really depends. Cause EC location is not that great as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are also in my consideration as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Talking about EC and condos, private condos, you know, for your choices, if you don't
Yeah.
upgrade. There's also a recent change in all the rulings for like the BTO loan to value,
Yep,
things like
yep.
that, the bank loan, HDB loan.
Yep.
How do you think it affected you?
I guess you need to have more money law. I mean, with all the changes and all, to down pay. If you are going for EC and like private condos, yeah, which can be quite hefty for individuals as well. Yeah. Alicia, do you get any grants for yourself?
Unfortunately, I did not manage to get any grants. So
Why though?
I remember at that time there was different criteria, which I don't remember now already. It's been
Okay.
so long. As I mentioned, my BTO journey started a really long time ago. So
When you're
I-
still studying.
Yes. So I don't remember anymore. But
Okay.
my then boyfriend, my husband, we didn't meet any of the criteria lah. Did you all manage to?
No, actually the grant is, I would think if for two, if you are like uni grads, young working professionals, both working, lower income, it's quite hard to hit the grant. Yeah, maybe like proximity grant if you stay near, but then like not staying near, so we're
Then
not
there's the
eligible.
income thing also,
Yeah,
right? Which you may
correct.
not hit once both.
Yes, yes.
parties
So they
start
say the
working.
good way to like, because it's quite easy to hit, right? Because like 2% is like if you starting pay like 3K, about 6K. I think definitely it's very hard to hit those grants that you know you are for.
So what
lower
are the
income.
grants that are given actually?
Can't quite remember. Also.
I think it's
Yes.
additional housing grant, then there's a few more like special housing grant. Typically it's based on wage lah. So
Correct.
5K to, I think the cutoff is 10.
And then there's the mature and non-mature estates one. So
So they have different
yes, like they
grants
want
for.
to encourage you to go non-mature estates.
yes.
I see.
But one
I
thing is
see.
about the for HDB, right, there's actually a cap on how much your income is before you have to buy a EC.
Yes,
So
right,
EC
right.
If I'm not wrong, it's 15,
Now it's
16.
Now it's
about
16K.
It has risen to
You earn
16.
more.
Yeah. So there could be a time where everyone has to go for EC instead lah. So
Okay.
There was a time that was DBSS too.
Oh,
yeah, but DBSS was a failed.
it's only for
You
a
cannot still
certain
fail,
period,
right?
right? DBSS.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so we wouldn't know, but the thing is apparently DBSS are scraped off by the government. So I don't think that is, if it's successful, I think you'll continue.
Right,
But I
right,
think
right.
it's not lah. That's why the whole scheme was gone. Like it was
Right.
just on the market for like 4
Few
years, 5
years,
years.
yeah.
Then it was gone already. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, but talking about grants, right? I know of this couple. When they applied for their BTO that time, one of them was still in school and the other one just started working. And because of that, they were able to meet all the criteria. So like just now, Shen mentioned the different criteria, mainly specifically targeted to support the lower income. So even though like they are only lower income now in these circumstances, but we know for sure that once both of them start working,
Yeah.
they will not be in that bracket. So
Yeah.
they, in that sense, they gamed the system. They knew, then they went in early first. So that couple really got the place cheap because of all the grants and everything. And then they did it with the intention to flip. So
Oh, is that right?
exactly. So if you ask me again whether HDB is still affordable, actually affordable. They still have all these grants to help the lower income. Like, so you must be really in need lah. So we must first get over that point whether enough support is given. But never mind. Let's talk about this point. Then there's this couple over here who is down here to game the system. They buy somewhere that this is not where they want to stay. They just want to flip, and then it's having that mentality,
But
right?
I think that the couple that you mentioned is probably what the government secretly wants you to do.
They want
Because
they want
you
us
when
to
you're-
buy and flip.
Yeah. No. They want,
Let you flip.
they want you to buy when you're younger, to start
Like
a
you
family
choke.
younger.
Choke you.
Yeah. So the intention is correct by the government, but it is actually a bit off when it's towards the consumer lah.
If
So
you
the-
talk about the other part about like emotional aspect, the romantic aspect, like
Oh.
Singapore very
BTO first and
like
propose.
pragmatic.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I BTO my the
correct,
proposal,
correct,
right?
correct. And not everybody is fortunate enough to find love at such a young
Yeah.
age lah. I mean, when it comes later, then it seems like it's your fault when you find love later. Then you get penalized for all that kind of things, like cannot
Then the
buy
house,
your house, they're very expensive because
Then you don't have grants.
Correct
But the
lah.
government,
Everything not
I think they
available.
does this because they want you to start a family younger. So it's not going to flip.
I want it too, but
Yeah,
it's
not
not
going to flip.
happening.
Yeah. So they want you to confirm your mate when you're as young as when you were in school.
But like you say,
Yeah.
like if you, how many like so blessed enough to find your
Yeah.
true love in uni?
So at the end of the day, the story is BTO as early as possible.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what they want.
So
but-
Charmaine, are you like in a hurry already?
No, no, no.
Charmaine, after this, she go to HDB
HDB
already.
website, yeah.
Yeah, flip.
Put $10.
So I think the government probably wants this for population because we're facing an aging population Yeah, but like you said after I hear the story, you see everything also can game.
Yeah. So sometimes there's a good system. There may be a good system,
Yeah.
but I think as humans, we like to game it. We like to find different ways, then we feel very proud of ourselves. Then after that, when the system, the game master try to patch, then we not fair. But actually,
Yeah. So the whole flipping of property thing, right, was due to the gaming.
Yeah.
But at least our parents' era, our grandparents era, very smart. So they managed to
correct.
do it. But the government even smarter now. So there's no way.
Of
There's no
course.
way you can do anything now about flipping for profit fast. You have only to stay for a while. For MOPs in what minimum occupied.
Occupancy
Yes,
period.
yes, yes.
Yeah, 5 years, right?
And in the prime
prime,
area now
yeah,
is
10.
10 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you
it's-
wait for 5 years to build like 15 years. Wow, the
Yeah,
kid,
so
like,
imagine
so
for my
big.
case, right, if let's say I BTO and then if I were to sell, I mean, by the time I would probably be in my 50s already.
Retire
Then I need to refine like my own retirement home again. So it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, but there are some couples. I have a friend who willingly bought the PLH houses, the prime land.
Because
Prime
they
land.
don't
How
see
old are
themselves
they?
moving.
They are my age.
Maybe
Okay.
they're just
Okay.
in the-
Early 30s, early
but it was a
30s.
bit different. So they bought a resale first
Okay.
Okay.
before a first BTO. Then after the resale, then 5 to 6 years after the MOP, because they're still MOP, then now they're buying the PLH. So
Oh.
to lock them in further for another 10 years.
So they spend 5 years building, and after that lock you in 10 years. The 15-year commitment.
But to them, I think they don't see an issue because they are not gaming the system. They
Right.
want to stay there. They want to live there. So, yeah, maybe that is the point of the PLH, the 10 years. Because for them, it's fine. I asked them 10 years very long. I said, no, I'm going to stay there long term.
I think PLH
Yeah.
works for people who really want like their forever home. They
Yeah.
don't have the intention to like move or like game the system.
That what Alicia said, like the game master try to patch the system.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
this is
yeah.
their patch version 1. So see if there's version 2, 3, 4
Yes,
coming
yes.
down.
I think it will be quite scary, but this to entertain this thought. But 10 years might be the norm in the future. MOP. that's my
No,
view.
I
That's
don't
my
mind
view.
10 years
Like
if
even-
it's not so expensive for prime, but it's still not
I don't
that
mind 10
affordable.
years if the homes are bigger. The homes are so small, how to stay for 10 years? Kill me now.
That brings to the
Another topic on
another
the
topic.
BTO being
but
very
today we don't talk
Yeah.
about Yes. There's this condo that sold at Pasir Ris.
Oh, the one makes residential.
What, $2,000
Yes,
per
yes.
square foot?
Correct.
In Pasir Ris
That's not the worst thing. It actually increases along the day, like
Yeah,
it started
yeah.
off cheap. Then towards the end of the day, it's 2,000.
Correct. So moving further sometimes is not the solution also. Or I don't know, unless you move somewhere like on reclaimed land, like they just starting out one. Because Pasir Ris, even though it's far, like Jurong, even though it's far out, it's considered mature estate. So unless we are looking at something really far and really got nothing, that kind of 鸟不生蛋的地方.
But for myself, I am. I mean, as in, you got to look at the master plan.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
order to choose where you want
After
to
this,
stay.
everybody flock to URA to see
Look
master
at the
plan
master
already.
plan. Yes, yes,
So,
yes, yes,
yeah, I
yes.
just tell you all this, but I don't tell you all where I stay.
Tips and
That
tricks
one
another
is
day.
secret.
She's trying to
find out
control the
more.
prices there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, if not, later everybody go and buy, then I cannot buy. For Alicia yourself, you have a floating bank rate right now.
Yes, yes, I do.
How do you feel now?
I feel very not at peace.
Not at peace.
Why so?
I guess because it's a floating rate, it's all tag to the global movement, and there's a lot of noise out there that says it's going up.
Yeah.
So while the interest rate that I'm paying now is still manageable and way below the HDB rate, I guess you will always have that fear that it may go way higher. Yeah, it may go beyond that.
May go beyond.
Yeah, but as to whether there is still, I take comfort that at least for now and for the past year that I've been paying way less than the HDB. So by the time it goes above, then we talk about it later.
Is it now like payback time?
Yes, probably payback time. Then maybe if you average it, you feel like, oh, no diff, never mind.
But how does it affect like your, because as our role as a financial advisor,
Yep.
how would you now advise your client?
I think would be for people out there interest rate's going to get higher and everything. So your borrowing ability would be clipped. So try not to spend within your means, not to take a loan that will kill you, because like during the COVID period, interest rate dropped and then everybody tried to buy big properties and everything. So it's good if you can afford it anyway, with or without the interest rate. You see it as a good opportunity, then you buy.
Yeah.
But if your spending power that only can meet this interest rate, then I think you are not at the level yet. Maybe you want to reconsider.
Okay, so basically your affordability ties down to MSR and TDSR, right? But what is MSR, what is TDSR? So MSR is basically mortgage servicing ratio. So the current one, as it stands, is 30% of your gross monthly income. That means you can only pay, your house loan can only be 30% of what you earn gross. Yeah. TDSR is basically your total debt service ratio, which is 60% now. Yeah. So that means 60% of your income, that is your the total debt can be only 60% of your income.
Right.
Yeah. Then basically it was increased from 55% last year. Yeah. So in COVID times they actually reduced the TDSR slightly, and then now it's actually back up at 60% to prevent over borrowing. So with all the current measures in place, right, it actually makes it harder for people to loan. Yeah. So basically that's how this MSR and TDSR come into play. Yeah. So I think the TDSR basically affects how people, buy houses. Yeah. And it's getting pretty difficult now.
Yeah, can you imagine you guys already have a house? What about myself? Just cry.
To learn how to spend within your new haircut amount.
One sell cut first, then you know.
You need to learn.
Yeah, but I think it could be one good practice also to make sure that people don't over leverage themselves. So I think it's also in the government's bigger plan to make sure that people have enough money for just now you mentioned that we have aging population, so make sure that you have enough for your own retirement, not just pump all your money into property.
Speaking of this topic about over leveraging, I do heard of my, last time when I was working and more senior colleagues, they are talking about their own circle of friends, which is maybe 40s, 50s, right? So last time they buy, then they stretch their loan 25s or whatever, the big house those EA in Pasir Ris, and then when there's a crisis or they lose their job, then they're unable to pay. So or they are also stuck with servicing the house and they have nothing for retirement. Maybe that's why there's the lease buyback, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Would you also consider taking a HDB loan? That's the case?
Definitely. I'll probably depend. Cause for myself, I'm a self-employed, so variable income, income is always changing, So for us, since we have variable incomes is not fixed. So back to TDSR. So in terms of the TDSR, the tighter TDSR, right? So property investing can be a lot harder, and also for ourselves, we can borrow lesser. Yeah, because in terms of how much they see what we earn, it's about 30% less in terms of what we earn.
On the haircut.
Yeah, correct.
You call it the haircut,
Yeah. So in that sense, probably I don't have much choice, right? So I probably would lean to bank loan, HDB loan first, then after that transit to to bank loan.
I think this
Yeah.
is what most people would do.
Yeah.
lah.
So that is something that I always suggest for my clients as well. Because usually most of the time, when they first pay their house and everything, they probably don't have that much money as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's viable to go with HDB first. Then once you finish paying off like the first 25%, then you move on to bank loan. Yeah, of course, it's subjected to individuals as well. If let's say a person is not able to take the risk of like the rates, the uncertainties, then probably bank loan might be not suitable for them as well. Yeah.
I agree as well. Yeah.
Hello.
But do you think now is still a good time to invest? Like are property still worth investing at like how it was?
Probably.
I think it's still a viable option, but the barriers of entry has significantly been increased. Yeah, so now with all the different rules, whatever we're saying, the different changes, one thing is very obvious, you need more cash. It's not like our grandparents' time where they can buy first property, then after that excess, then buy a second property. To buy that second property, the first property is already it's very painful.
Yeah.
Then your second property, which you need a lot of cash on hand. And I think only possible if you come from a wealthy family or like you have family support lah. If not, I think it's very difficult for the general population to do it on their own. To stay one property, buy another property, then collect income. It is much harder. Then whether or not it's still attractive as an investment, it could be because we're not just talking about money here, like a roof over your head. It just gives a lot more room for the owner. Like maybe I want to let my family stay down here first. Like it's not just money. There are just also other considerations. There's a lot of things you can do with a property. You can stay there. You don't like this person, fight. Then you can stay in your house, that other house for the time being. So you know that you have other options like that lah. So not just money.
Not just money.
I think also the barriers of entry is really higher now. Now you cannot really earn that much. Like recently the very hyped new launch, the I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like AMO residences. So I've heard some friends talking about it, like they want to see the show flat then, but because of course you will have currently a place of your own, so you have to pay ABSD. So about like 200,000 to the government already to have the second property. So I think it's really like, unless you are really very cash rich, if not like gone are the days like,
Correct.
you know, whereby you can have a HDB fully paid, then have a condo, and then rent out your HDB, you know, and then you earn passive income. I think it's quite difficult now. So that's all we have for today's episode. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in our next episode.